Welcome to the Road to Welvil podcast. I'm your host, Michel Terrell. Together, we will explore our own wellness journeys, nurturing body, mind, and spirit. Join me as I talk to top wellness professionals from all over the world with a wide range of backgrounds and specialties. I invite you to discover, discuss, and design your own path on the road to Welvil. Welcome, listener. Today, I am so excited to introduce you to my friends, Kari and Kristine. Kari is an MBA and former lead product manager who used nutrition and lifestyle changes to reduce her symptoms from thyroid and autoimmune issues. She eventually left the corporate world to follow her heart and help others on their own wellness journeys. Kristine is a foundational nutritionist with over 25 years of experience in the healthcare field. She uses homeopathic remedies, herbs and supplements, meditation, diagnostic testing, and stress management techniques to help clients find their own paths to wellness. Together, Kari and Kristine are the dynamic team behind joyful, healthy, balanced living. Kari, I met you over 5 years ago when we were both students at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, studying to become health coaches. And as luck would have it, we both also attended the same yoga studio where I also went on to teach. So it was perfect. We ended up becoming accountability partners, and now we've become friends, and we've partnered together in some coaching groups like Beat the Burnout, which was super fun when we led that together with a small group. And it's always just such a joy to work with you and collaborate with you. I've been inspired while seeing you transform and heal yourself, and particularly your thyroid. And I know that you've used holistic practices such as diet and lifestyle changes to help you with that transformation. And so I'm really excited to hear about how you did it. I'm excited to share with the listeners some of your tips and tricks, and also to find out more about how you and Kristine work together as a team and what you guys are up to these days.
Sure. It's so great to see you.
So nice to see you
Yeah.
too. Yeah. So I just want to jump into kind of the beginning of your stories. I know for a lot of people on this healing path, there was an event or situation that kind of set you on this path, particularly towards holistic healing and looking at yourself as a whole person, body, mind, and spirit. So I was wondering if there was maybe an early event in your lives that sparked this interest and this journey. So Christina, I was going to let you go ahead and speak first to that.
Okay, sure. So when I was 19, I was actually studying animal science in college, and my father was diagnosed with lymphoma in November of my sophomore year of college, and he passed away in December.
Mm.
And it was really quick. And at that time, our family was brought up in a very healthy way. We had fruits and vegetables in the backyard. We had a swimming pool. We were outside all the time. My father didn't smoke. He didn't drink. We went on hikes on weekends. And I had to look at what happened. And so I realized that, for one thing, our family is very motivated, very education geared, to succeed. And he was also a principal in the East LA school district. So a lot of stress. So my journey started with stress management. I learned to do Tai Chi. I learned meditation because I couldn't sit for a while. So Tai Chi started. And that's where the journey started, and just kept going from there as I had my children, learning more about their health and how to bring them up in a healthy way. So it just kept going.
Yeah, I've heard that story before in the past of a loss, maybe of a parent or a loved one that's kind of triggers this examination of like, how can I make some changes for my life and my family? And it sounds like you were already on a very healthy path, but like you said, stress is such a big part of that. I think that there are a lot of people out there who think they're, ticking all the boxes and doing everything, but they're still so type A and so stressed that they don't realize that that's really taking the biggest toll on their health.
Hmm.
I'm really glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Kari, did you want to go into your story?
Sure. As I was thinking back when Kristine was talking, I first became very interested in nutrition in my early 20s when I was going to college and I took a nutrition class. And funny enough, though, I didn't really do anything with it until like 30 years later, because I was going for my business degree and I got my undergrad in my business degree, and then I went on to get my master's degree. But what I realized was, you know, um, all the stress from all of my corporate job really took a toll on my body. And so then that's when I started really thinking that I needed to do something to change. Something had to change. So then that's when I decided to go to nutrition school and enrolled into nutrition school. And after that, it was just for myself to
Mhm.
get myself feeling well. But I realized that there was just so much information that I learned that I had to share it with others. And so that left me on this path to leave the corporate world and start working with others to try to help other women.
Yeah. And I think there are so many, again, there are so many people that are so driven. Like you said, when you're in school, I have friends who've been in medical school or, law school or whatever, and there's just so much going on that you're just, shoving whatever into your mouth, right? Or just doing whatever you can to get by because it can be such a struggle to balance all those things. I had the same
Right.
experience when I was in school too.
And then you add children on top of that, right? So now you have your career and you have your children, and then you realize that you haven't been taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And how do you take care of others when you're broken yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And that was one of the things I was noticing more and more as what became a nutritionist, from going with, looking at digestive issues and all of that. And then a lot of women were coming to me who loved what they did, were high executives in their field, and then they just crashed and burned. And it just broke my heart. So one of the reasons that Kari and I, teamed up was we wanted to catch these women before they crash and burn. We want to help them and support them while they're doing the things that they love so they can continue to do the things that they love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe thinking about those women. So I know that you guys, I didn't really talk about this in the introduction, but you guys do work with professional women a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing that you share with them some of the things that you wish you knew when you were starting out with your journey. So wanted to ask if you could share with my listener, what do you wish you knew when you were starting out at that place, and what are those, those keys that you share with your clients now? Kari, you can go first on this one.
Yeah. So for me, it was all about self care. I mean, we hear it, it's a buzzword in the industry to talk about self care, but we really do need to take the time to spend, some time every day to take care of ourselves. That could mean eating healthy, it could mean resting when we need to rest. It could mean a lot of things, but I mean, I was on autopilot for so long, just going and, just going from one person to the next, taking care of everybody else's needs but myself. So that's what I really wish I had known early on, that I need to take care of myself. That's the most important so that I can take care of everybody else.
Absolutely right. You have to fill your own cup and then you
Mhm.
can fill others.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kristine, how about you? What do you wish you knew when you started back?
I think what I wish I realized at the beginning was that um, it's really important to have a good relationship with your doctor. I've worked with a lot of doctors, throughout the 25, 30 years that I've been doing this. And um, I really want my clients to learn what questions to ask, to know that their doctors are there to help them, but their doctors are only trained in certain ways. And that they need to know that there's a whole other world out there that they can explore. Finding the doctor that's right for you, finding the doctor that will listen to you is really important, and be accepting of your ideas and your questions. So yeah, it's surprising how many people think that, oh, well, my doctor said I should do this. Well, did he tell you why? No, he just said I should do it, you know. So to ask questions, it's really important because they serve a huge purpose. They are there. Medications are important in certain ways, but you need to know why you're taking them and take control of your own health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christine, I think you're right that, the doctor might tell you something, but you don't always know how to implement it. And I think that's where we could be very helpful as a coach, is to really help them understand, well, what is it that your doctor is proposing to you? And let me help you put a plan in place.
Mhm.
It's hard to make changes when you don't know where to begin.
Yes, yes. And Carrie's great at that. And that's another reason why we joined forces is Carrie is really good at taking someone's lifestyle, helping them to balance things and put them in perspective. She does a great job of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was surprised through our IIN training, and also when I've talked to my friends who are medical doctors, that they, only have like maybe one class of nutrition, right? Or like maybe zero. So they know a lot about, medications, and they know a lot about what they're there for. And I 100% agree that they serve such an important purpose. But yeah, they don't have the time or really the training to go into nutrition, and then like you said, to go into how does this work in my life, they,
Exactly.
you get 15 minutes with them, right? Like they don't get to know you as well as it would be ideal, right? So that's where,
Right.
yeah, health coaches and nutritionists really like help to serve that purpose. And that's really why I created the website Welvil, and this podcast is to create like a space where doctors or visitors can find, this team to help them work on this journey of wellness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important. It does take a team, and you
Yeah.
should have a team to assist you in the journey. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, it's a team. Yeah, and I've talked a lot of these podcasts. I am finding that I'm interviewing people who have gone through their own health journeys and kind of had that same experience where, they went to the doctor, and some of them, the doctor even said, "There's nothing more I can do."
Mhm.
On your Crohn's disease. Or I just recently had a great interview with a woman with a daughter on the autistic spectrum, and and so then, about, you're talking about like taking the responsibility now, it's like, okay, we do need doctors and they do definitely serve a purpose, but now there's also this responsibility on you to make some changes and to do some research and to move forward with your life. Your health is your responsibility ultimately,
Yes,
and that's
yes.
empowering. I mean, it's kind of scary,
Empowering.
but it's so empowering, especially when you've got the team to help you,
It is
right?
very empowering. And thank you so much, Michelle, for setting up that website. I think that's a really great resource for people.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. It was something I wished I had. So I'm like, well, let's just make this.
Terrific.
So Christine, I wanted to kind of come back to you. I know that you have quite a wide toolbox that includes, like you said before, homeopathic remedies, herbs, and supplements. And I myself have found these nature and plant medicines to be so transformative in my life. So I was just wondering if you could tell us some stories about how these tools have changed your life and maybe the lives of the clients that you work with.
Definitely. One of the things I wanted to mention first with supplements and herbs and all of that is um, they still, even though they're natural, they still go through the liver. They still go through the kidney. They still have to go through a detoxing, in the body. So not getting caught up in too many supplements, too many herbs is important. And having someone to help guide you. I know a lot of clients that they come in and they come in with, 20 different supplements because they're like, oh, that looks good. Or I heard that one was good. And my friend's using that one and that one's good. And they are good. And so, but we don't want to use them as a band-aid effect. Supplements and herbs and homeopathic remedies should be used to support the body and to nurture the body. And so that's my philosophy and what I use. If there's something out of balance, then I use a supplement, or homeopathic remedies are great because they can be, the doses can be adjusted so easily, and especially for people who are very sensitive, they work very well. So you help the body to get back into balance, and then maybe you don't need them anymore. unless you have a specific health condition or a genetic issue that you do need that constant support. So supplements and herbs, homeopathic remedies, I feel should be used to bring the body back into balance, to support it, to nurture it, to help heal it. And then the body's amazing, so then the body can take over and do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. I never really thought about that before, but that is a really good point. I know I take kind of a lot of supplements, and it's really important, I think, to make sure that you're taking the right ones. Like you said, that our body's detoxing them. It's really important to be strategic with them, just as you would be with medications or exercise or any other thing that you are taking part in, right?
Yes, yes. And I've had clients who have come in. I had one lady who had just had her thyroid removed from thyroid cancer, and she just barely could get out of bed.
Mm.
And she came in and we started working with her, and it took a process. And that's the other thing, for people to be patient. It took a process of about a year or more. And now she's become a photographer. She rides her bike. She, works with horses now in therapy. And that is just so rewarding to see those people come through and blossom into who they really are, and be able to do all the things that they love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what life is about, right? We're here to thrive.
Yeah.
Car-
Yes.
Carrie, do you have any stories or anything about using supplements that you'd like to share?
I just have a few that I recommend because we know that our soil has been depleted of a lot of nutrients. So I think for a lot of us, just taking a multivitamin is a good practice, as well as taking some kind of omega-3. So a fish oil or a flaxseed oil is really good. And I know a lot of my clients too are low on vitamin D. So you could get tested to see if you're low on it or not. But if you are, it's a good idea to take the vitamin D supplement.
Yeah, vitamin D has been huge for me. Funny enough, it helped me clear up my skin.
Oh,
Yeah, it's amazing. I know because it's got some sort of hormonal properties. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
is important in so many things, and especially right now for your immune system, it's very important.
yeah. Yeah, and so affordable, right? You can just get it anywhere for,
that's right.
I think I get a tiny one that's like 5,000 IUs and the big bottle's like $8 or something, right? That I never run out of. So, yeah, that's really great. So I'd like to hear more about how you guys help others. Like how does your team work
Yeah.
together?
So we like to work with busy professional women. There's a lot of information that's out there. So Kristine and I like to condense the information down. We know that there's not one diet that works for everybody. So we've actually put together a 10-week program is our big program that we put together, and it's more of a holistic view. So we're wanting to make sure that there's self-care that's included. We talk about healthy habits. We talk about nutrition. So again, it's not just nutrition, it's about your whole being. It all works together.
Right, right. So we try and make it as simple as possible so that they can work it in. And we want the accountability is key. And that's what most people know what to do. They just need to know, to have someone there to help them make it as a habit. And once it's a habit, then they don't have to think about it, but they need someone to help them, to keep them accountable in the beginning until they can be accountable to themselves.
Right. So it's just the small little changes that they make. We don't recommend to make huge changes all at once because we know that it doesn't stick. But to make the small changes will have the biggest impact on them. And as Kristine said, it becomes habit. You don't even really need to think about it anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That's awesome. So it sounds like you guys kind of make it easier, kind of smaller steps, but at the same time help your clients be held accountable.
Yes.
for the changes. Yeah. And I remember reading some research too about changing, it's like if you change more than 5% or something at a time, it's not going to stick very likely, right? It's like these
Mhm.
kind of small changes that you create over time that really make the big shifts that we're
Right.
Right.
looking for. So
Right. And that's
you,
what you want. You want it to be long lasting. You don't want it to be, just for some people have a goal. Okay, I want to lose so much weight. And then they reach that and then everything goes out the window. And that's not what it's about. It's the long lasting health changes that you can make.
It's the lifestyle changes, right? It's not like this is my New Year's resolution. It's for life. It's how do I make the changes so that they fit into my life?
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think I can think of times where I've gone on like a 30-day diet or something, like a Whole 30 kind of thing. And then the day after it's like ice cream and blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, I did it. And now I don't know what to do. So I'm going to go have some ice cream, right? Or McDonald's. And not that any of that's wrong, right? Because I mean, it's okay to treat yourself every now and then, but I've
Right.
had those experiences where I've done something and then it's like, okay, now what? I don't know what to do next. So it's
Yeah.
really good to have that guidance.
I think we've
Right.
all been there, Michelle.
Good. Okay. Yeah. I'm not the only one. So you guys, Carrie, you alluded it to this a little bit before. You were talking about vitamin D supplements and testing. So I'm really interested in what kind of testing you guys use to help your clients. Can you tell me a little more about the testing?
Yeah, I'll turn that over to Kristine. For me, though, I just get tested through my regular doctor. That's how I get tested to know that I need vitamin D. But Kristine does a lot of different testing in the doctor's office where she works. So I'll hand it over to her and she can give you some more information.
Great.
Yeah, there's some key alternative testing that you can do. And the other thing about testing is when you get the results, it's important to have someone who's been working with it to look at it, because just because it says a certain thing doesn't mean that's what it is. It's a guide, and they should use it as a guide, not as, because everybody's different. Especially one of the tests that I do is a stool test to check for digestive issues, and every most people know about probiotics, which are the good bacteria that live in your gut. Well, everyone has a little different biome in the stomach, so they'll put down what they feel is a normal range, but for one person it may be a little bit off, and that's normal for that person. So it's really important when you do testing to match the symptoms to whatever the results are. If they're not having any symptoms regarding a certain thing and it's not off by that much, then that's probably normal for that person. So I do stool testing to look at the digestive tract. I'll do adrenal testing. Those are the stress organs. They sit right on your kidneys, and the adrenals are responsible for all of your stress. And especially working with women, professional women, I find there's a lot of imbalance in that. I also work with neurotransmitters, and I do this with children too, because there's so many children on the spectrum, children with ADD, ADHD, that don't need to be on medication. And even women, who are complaining of depression or low moods or manic type symptoms, we can check their neurotransmitters very easily. And neurotransmitters are the little messengers in the body, and they can be ones that make you excited and happy and zest for life, and there can be the ones that are calming and help you with sleep and to be handle any stress. So it's really, and most doctors' offices don't do these types of testing. They A lot of them are not covered by insurances, although it's getting better. But just knowing that these things are available and that you can take advantage of them can be a life changer for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard about the neurotransmitters before. I know something, I haven't had mine tested, but I know GABA, which I think is something that kind of helps with neurotransmitters. And I
Mhm.
know that really helps me with my mood and anxiety sometimes. That's something that I found very helpful for me. I don't know the science, but I'd love to come see you, Kristine, and you could tell me more about it. I can get some tests done and see, but
Yeah.
I know I've
Yeah.
heard that before, and that I found it to be helpful in my life.
Yeah, yeah. And also, on the neurotransmitters, I started working with a lot of people with addictions
Mm.
and who are trying, because that's also dopamine does a lot of work with the cravings. So balancing that is very helpful for people. So
Oh yeah, that sounds
yeah.
very valuable. So just kind of shifting, I love to hear how you guys are helping professional women. So I want to know what inspires you. Do you have any stories of specific clients that you found inspiring, or anything else that brings you inspiration in your job daily?
I think for me, just seeing their changes over time. One example is I had a client that needed to do an elimination diet. And at first, it was really, really tough. And with my guidance, she was able to get through it. And when it was time to stop, she said, "No, I'm feeling so good. I want to continue on. I don't want to stop. Let me do this for a little bit longer." So
Mhm.
just seeing that, with a little bit of our support and guidance, they're able to get through something that's very challenging and come out the other side feeling great.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. One of the people that we had go through our program, she's actually with my cousin, and very top-notch lady, and she committed to the program, and she didn't realize that just making some simple changes in her life has made such a difference. She just little things like drinking more water throughout the day, some simple supplements, taking time for herself, which we all think, oh well, I take time for myself. I like to cook, so I like cooking for the family. Well, no, that's doing something for someone else, and having that distinction of, no, this is just for me, and doing that every day so that it replenishes you. So taking all those little things, learning that frozen foods aren't a bad thing, as far as like your frozen vegetables or your frozen fruit. You don't want the frozen dinners, but they're quick, they're easy. You can make a healthy meal very simply in 15, 20 minutes. It doesn't take a lot. So learning all these little tips and having them realize that it's not that hard and that it can make such a difference in their life is very rewarding.
hmm Also, I noticed too when we do our group programs that our clients really like it because they like interacting with the other people that are on the same journey that they're on so that they can
Mhm.
relate. They're very supportive and they really enjoyed that part of the program is having the group.
Yes. Especially now, we tend to be more, of course, isolated. And so it really, some of them have kept relationships throughout, after the program was done, because they hit it off.
Oh, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
they'll be lifelong, they'll now have lifelong partners that they can kind of go to, who maybe are going through some similar um, times, right? Issues and similar things to celebrate together. And
Exactly.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
that's really cool. So I just wanted to kind of finish up by asking if you guys had any practical takeaways for my listener right now.
Yeah, I think the first thing is to remove like processed food and sugar. Just by doing that, I think you will see a definite change in your body and you'll probably lose some weight as well.
Definitely, definitely. Water, we always come back to water, but water really is important to have enough of it, but not too much. You don't ever want to go over 90 to 100 ounces. But it's if you don't like water, you can put lemon in it, you can put fruit in it. You can do even an herbal tea is good. There's so many ways to get it's the liquid, the fluid that's important, because coffee, soda, alcohol are all diuretics, and they deplete our bodies. And so we need to replenish the water in our
Mhm.
body.
That's
So,
right. So many of our systems really rely on that, like having the right balance of water.
mhm.
Yes.
And I say self-care. We talked a lot about that today, just finding what you can do. And it's daily self-care. So even if it's 10 minutes, just going and relaxing, reading a book, meditating, going for a walk, those are so important just to do on a daily basis.
Yeah. And just movement. Movement is really important. And people think, oh, I've got to get out there and I've got to run, or I have to ride my bicycle, or whatever it is. And you just need to move. If you're sitting in front of a computer all day, stand up for, part of the time. Um, one of the stories I tell my clients is when I had to go to the laundromat, I would keep my bucket of clothes on the floor, and I'd bend down and I'd pick it up and I'd fold it and set it down. I'd bend down. And I had a lady come over with one of those carts and say, you could put your basket up here. Then you don't have to bend down. And I said, yeah, I know, but this is part of my exercise. And she looked at me like I was strange or something. And it's like, but it's important for us, especially as we get older, to just move, to stretch. It's not bad to have to get up there and reach for something that's up in the cupboard or whatever. You just need to keep moving.
Right. And another one might be having a morning routine. So when you get up in the morning, what are you doing? Are you going to the news first thing in the morning? Or are you taking the time to set your day, to maybe meditate or to take a few minutes to be thankful for what you have?
Mhm.
That really makes a big difference in your day, how you start your morning.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then how you end your morning, or your day. Do you have a nighttime routine to help with sleep? Because as we know, sleep is so important. Are you rushing and then sitting on the couch and watching TV and maybe watching the news that's not so pleasant, and then trying to go to sleep and you've got your phone next to you, so having some nice restful time to unwind, to really kind of clear your mind, so that when you do go to sleep, you have that restful sleep.
Yeah. I agree. I try to not pick up my phone for like at least 30 minutes. I try an hour, but 30 minutes, like after I wake up, I don't watch the news. And then try to, yeah, put it away at least an hour before I'm going to bed too. And I heard this idea recently too about like just even taking a day of like no phone, like maybe it's your Saturdays, that's your family day, and the
Yeah.
phone goes away and the TV's off unless it's like a family movie or something. Because we
Yeah.
just
Getting your kids to be without their phone while you're having dinner or whatever is
Yeah, that actually is a rule at our house. There is no electronics on our table when we have dinner at night.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's wise. So how can my listener find you? Anyone who wants to know more about how to find you guys, how to work with you guys, do you have any events coming up that I could share with my listener?
So we do have a website. It's Joyful Healthy Balanced Living, but it's J, um, it's jhbliving.com. Stands for Joyful Healthy Balanced Living. And that website is both mine and Kristine's website. And we post different programs that we're offering out there. So you can go ahead and take a look to see what we're offering. Most likely we'll be offering the 10-week program coming up here in March.
Excellent. And about how often a year do you guys offer that? Like a couple times a year or?
Mhm. Yeah, 2 to 3 times a year.
Great. So
Yeah,
whenever
and we
someone's
have
listening to this
smaller
podcast, they
programs.
could just check your website to see when the next one's coming up.
Yes.
Right. We do some other challenges that are shorter too. So if you want to get to know us, you might want to sign up for a challenge and see how it is to work with us.
Hmm.
And if you like it, then you could sign up for the longer program.
Yeah, we also have a Facebook group, Healthy Living for Professional Women, that we give tips to on a weekly basis.
Oh, great. And like we were saying before, that community opportunity for your clients to be able to talk to each other about whatever's going on.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being a part of the Road to Welvil today. It's been an absolute pleasure to catch up with you, and I look forward to the next time that we can chat.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
It's been fun talking to you.
It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today. To learn more about today's guest and a wide range of other wellness professionals, please visit our global wellness community at welvil.com. WELVIL.com. I look forward to meeting you next time on the road to Welvil.